Today we chat to a champion founder balancing motherhood, running a business, and a love for yoga. Natalie tells us about the chance encounter that first attracted her to organic activewear, as well as what gives her the courage to keep fighting on. Enjoy the pod. So tell us a bit about Natalie and Pinky and Kamal.
So I am a new mum. I've just had a baby. He's 3 months old.
Awesome.
So I'm just sort of juggling that and learning to be a mum, which is really, really nice. I have studied fashion design, so I've had a background in fashion as well, and obviously a massive yogi.
Yep.
So that's a little bit about me. So Pinky and Kamal is basically designed for the woman who's a little bit more conscious in the way they live their lives, including shopping online.
Yeah.
They love to move, whether that be yoga, dance, or just getting outside, and they love to be comfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And a bit of a sort of tricky question. What's been more difficult for you, motherhood or running your own business?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, the motherhood's like an interesting one because I wouldn't call it like hard. It's more just trying to learn as well. I guess they're both like learning on the job situations.
Definitely.
But there's definitely like good days, and then there's other days where I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had any sleep. I need to Yeah,
no, it makes sense. I dare say motherhood is a lot more rewarding, so I'm sure it's worth every sleepless night.
It is.
Yeah, terrific. Well, getting into a bit more about the Pinky and Kamal and yoga gear, why did you decide to go into yoga gear and specifically the main focus of Pinky and Kamal is natural and organic fabric, so why did you want to go into that niche of the yoga gear niche?
Yeah, well, so we've actually been running for almost 5 years now, and when I first started out and had the idea, it was actually when I was traveling through India, and it was when I was getting quite deep into my yoga practice, and we were traveling through India, and I was looking for some yoga clothes, and I came across this pair of like cotton shorts, and I think they were like for a 7-year-old boy or something. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try them. And I wore them to death. I wore them everywhere. They were just some loose cotton shorts and literally practicing them nearly every day. And then when I got home from India, I started to look around like online and to see and even in store, and to see whether there was like natural yoga wear available. And at the time, I really didn't find anything at all. And what was out there was sort of quite outdated and really like you're going to a hippie rave, which wasn't really my vibe. So with the background in fashion, I thought, why not start something of my own? There's a big gap in the market here, and one major part of that was to make sure that this is going to be as sustainable as possible. Yeah. Because like studying fashion and seeing and working for some small labels, like seeing how the supply chains can really affect like just the environment and the people working in them, it was really important to me to make sure that it had that sustainability aspect to it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And it sounds quite interesting. There was quite a sort of chance encounter that sort of led you on that journey with their shorts in India. So it's fascinating how a lot of great business seem to start from, these chance encounters that you can't really put down to, I guess, a deliberate instant. But in terms of like yoga and exercise, like a lot of people get a lot of value out of it in their own way. But how has yoga helped you in your life?
I don't reckon I'd be the person I am today without it. I know you hear a lot about that with it, and I think when people start yoga, it's it can be for a number of reasons, and I know for me particularly it was like more of just a different way to like maintain my fitness, and I knew that there was like a bit more of a spiritual element behind it, but I was quite young when I started, so I wasn't really getting into that sort of inner self like discovery. So yeah, it's just funny how a lot of people have a similar journey to me when they start, but there's so much that comes with yoga, and that's like practicing your presence, practicing, you know, trusting, and just like so much with your mental. Like I don't think I would be anywhere near as mentally strong as I am without it.
Yeah, interesting. So in a way, it almost sounds like sort of a meditating effect to you with mindfulness. Would you say that that's the case?
Yeah, 100%. Like, and obviously, like yoga is like meditation as well, but like the movement is such a meditation for me as well, which I've really found and like developed over the years as well. So it's pretty magical.
That's fantastic. And now moving a bit more towards your journey as a brand founder and you know, as a business operator, what has the journey been like for you in creating the brand? And so where are you guys today as a label?
Yeah, so I started the label when I was 23 years old, so I was pretty young, and I had this idea and I literally just jumped into it. So I thought I had a couple of people around me that sort of inspired me to be like, why don't you just start something of your own? So I jumped into it, and it really has been for the last, I'd say like 3.5 years to 4 years. It has been really learning on the job, and I wanted to be like super transparent about this because I know that a lot of it's not as, I don't want to be negative, but I want to show the true journey of how we've been. It's been like a lot of uphill climbs.
For sure.
So it's been like a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error, which is really cool. Like I don't think that the brand would be what it is today without all of this. I think like as my journey, it's had to be this way because I've had to learn a lot of these lessons. So we've had a lot of learning curves and experiences as well. But yeah, as I said, I don't think we would be where we are today without them.
Spot on. Just sorry to interrupt there. Just hearing what you said, it reminds me of this quote. I can't remember who said it. It's a very obvious quote, but it's so true to business. But it said that the only thing that can prepare you for running a business is actually running a business. And I think just similar to what you're saying there, it's, you know, there's so many sort of uphill battles that you guys have faced that you probably couldn't learn from the sidelines. You probably couldn't learn from, you know, reading articles or watching YouTube videos. I think you had to live them and embrace them and learn how to overcome them. And it kind of leads me to my next question now, which is, what were some of the biggest hurdles you had to overcome? You know, it might be before you started, maybe just as you started, or even today as you guys are growing and scaling. Like, can you share some of those hurdles that you faced?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just touching on what you said as well, I think it's definitely the same as well with parenthood. You just sort of jump in. But yeah. Anyway, the biggest hurdles that I have probably had to face is the manufacturing and sourcing of the fabrics, and ensuring that they're actually sustainable. So making sure we get that certification with each fabric that we buy in, and just making sure that we're nailing that manufacturing process. That's probably been our number one because I'm in Melbourne and our manufacturing is in Bali. And we have an amazing team there, which I'm so blessed to have. So it's been great, but there's also just things that come up all the time. And like you hear before you start business, you're going to come through a lot of hurdles. You're going to come through a lot of roadblocks. But I remember before starting, I'm like, okay, how many will I really come? Like, how many will there really be? But it's definitely proven. But like we're starting to really, like, everything's starting to become a lot more seamless now and working really well. So that's one. And another one would be like more of like an inner trust and an inner faith that things are going to work out and just keep moving forward. Like when things do come up, it's like, okay, well, we have to figure out how we're going to move forward from this. And it's just small steps. It's like a day by day at a time sort of situation. So that, and having faith that it is going to work out, and it always does in the end.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, the last one, what would the last one be of that?
Yeah, maybe something along the lines of maybe growing pains, or I know what you talked about, some stuff in the manufacturing, finding out if they're sort of organic and align with your values.
Yeah.
But in terms of now when you've got the business set up and you may be trying to expand into new collections, new markets, or new marketing channels even. What are some of the hurdles you had to overcome there in taking the business to the next level?
It would be with that, just having the time and scheduling all that in to make sure that like I'm able to get that done, and like because at the moment it is a one woman led show.
Yep.
So I'm just finding the time to get that all to happen. And I guess another part that has been a challenge is to making sure that I've had that support network around me and mentors and things like that, just to keep me going and keep me uplifted. I think that's really important when starting a business and having a business is to create like a little bit of a community of people that are going through something similar. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think that's a great piece of insight there. Just being around people who are going to sort of push you up instead of bring you down. I think it's imperative, not just in business, but in all walks of life. You know, you want to be with people who are going to make you the best possible person. So, yeah, I think that's a great piece of advice. And now, in terms of sort of your future now, sort of what stopped you from giving up? Because I know it can be quite easy to throw in the towel, and I dare say both of us at times with our businesses have maybe not genuinely wanted to, but at times you think, oh, stuff this, it's too hard, all these problems are happening. So I think everyone's gone through those days occasionally, but they are few and far between. So like, what did you do to sort of stay inspired and get focused through these tough times, which you probably had many of in the past and you're probably going to endure many more in the future?
I definitely agree. I would definitely put it down to, which comes back to the whole yoga thing, like whether you're into yoga or not. But it's just like finding something that's really helped me to stay truthful and to just have faith and have trust that it's going to all work out. Yeah. I find that like connecting back in with myself and just checking back in, okay, like with the big picture is huge, because you can go day by day and be like, okay, this is the list of things to do. One thing went wrong here. But when you take a step back and look at the big picture and go, wait, we've actually done so many amazing things in the past week or the past month. Like, I think we're doing well, and just keep moving forward, keep striding forward. Yeah, Michelle, pardon the pun there, you know, for name of the podcast there. Perfect. And I think that's so I was just thrown off by your pun there. I was just going to say something along the lines of I forgot what I was going to say now because of your beautiful pun there. So what was that last part you said? I've been completely thrown. The last part was just to keep moving forward. Sorry, I just reminded me. Thanks for that. It just sort of triggered back to when you're talking about yoga and being more mindful. It definitely sounds like your perseverance and that mindfulness is probably linked back to what you're doing with your yoga and your mindfulness and the meditation. So it's quite funny how it all plays like a full circle. How the brand is yoga gear and you're getting so much value from the yoga exercise that it makes you a better business operator. So I found that quite fascinating. When you put all the pieces together, it's this holistic approach to making you a better person and operator and mum, probably in so many ways. So that's always fantastic to hear. So thanks for jotting my memory there. That's fine. Perfect.
And then to finish up today, going to take a bit more of a light-hearted approach here. So, what are some of the mistakes that you look back now and that they make you laugh? So, some of those things that maybe you're too naive to realize at the time that they were bad things, not so much bad things, maybe they were mistakes that you should have avoided. So, like in hindsight, yeah, what are some of those things that you just look back now and think, oh, I was pretty
So naive.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's been a few.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of some funnier ones. They're probably like my absolute first collection.
Yeah.
And releasing that, because we did a lot of markets in the first few years.
Yeah.
We still do some.
Yeah.
Hopefully at the end of the year.
Yeah.
If COVID lets us. But I remember going to my first market and not bringing anything apart from like a clothing rack.
Okay.
And it was a really cool market.
Yeah.
It was like a really cool designer market, and everyone had their marquees and like their tables and all this awesome stuff. And I had a clothing rack, and I think everyone was just looking around at me going, what the hell is this girl thinking?
Yeah.
And it might not have been that bad if you were in like Queensland, but I'm in Melbourne and it started raining.
Oh no.
So anyway, luckily the stall holders next to me like gave me a tarp, and I actually did quite well that day, so it was funny.
Oh well. So that minimalist approach must have helped.
Yeah, I reckon it did.
Yeah,
I reckon it really did.
It's very un-Melbourneian of you not to cater for the weather, because you get the 4 seasons in one day. It can be beautiful, sunny skies, no clouds, and then an hour later, hailing down rain. So
I know.
I think there was naivety in a lot of ways there.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah,
but there's been many more. More too.
No, that's fantastic. And I think at the end of the day, like you and I with our business, like at the start, you don't really know what you're doing. Like nobody does at the start. There's a reason why you're a beginner, you're a rookie, because you don't know as much. So I think it's really important to learn on the job. And I think your journey's been an exciting one. And I think now with a new sort of a great challenge with motherhood and combined with running your own business, I think it's going to be even more exciting journey for you. So a big thank you for sharing all your insights with us today. Natalie, it was great to hear them, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Oh, thank you so much. I've really been enjoying being on with Stride as well. It's been great.
You're too kind, Natalie. Thanks for that, and we'll keep in touch.
See you later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. It really does mean the world. If you like what you heard, please leave a nice review. And if you have any feedback or want to recommend a guest, and yes, that can include you love yourself, please email me at jordan@stridestore.com.au.